Hey there crew, it's your captain here, Geronimo. On April 1st, I have made a gag episode of What are the Bussard collectors? However, I was always strangely fascinated by them, and today I want to share with you what are they really for and to do a technical breakdown of the components that make them work. Without any further ado, let's jump into the technobabble. The Bussard collector, also known as the Bussard ram scoop, is just that, a collector. This mysterious device is usually attached to the front end of a warp nacelle and is a standard issue of every Federation starship. But what exactly do they do except rotate on TOS-era ships or shimmer on the TNG-era ships? During normal ship operations, they collect hydrogen, especially deuterium, for fuel replenishment, but could be reconfigured to collect various gases and particles, such as metreon gas or plasma. Collection works best in regions where space particle density is high, such as nebulas. A Bussard collector could also be reconfigured to expel gases or plasma. Such examples were seen in TNG episode Samaritan Snare when the Enterprise D expelled hydrogen as a crimson force field. Console ability usable in STO and found aboard a Tucker-class Miracle Worker. Another great example is the Riker maneuver, also usable in-game from Regent-class assault cruiser. Starship collects before-mentioned metreon gas and then releases it into enemy's wake, setting the highly volatile gas ablaze, dealing major plasma damage. Best seen in TOS-era ships, revolving blades create energy fields that collect particles on a set of inner support rings. However, system gets more complex, so let's dive deeper into the components of the modern system used aboard 23rd century starships onwards. Before proceeding further, we need to check out first the internal schematic of a warp nacelle. The collectors are shielded by the Bussard end cap, a layer of frosted transparent material made from reinforced polyduranate. This material is transparent to the narrow edge of ionized energies produced by the IBEs, and acts as a filter, as only certain kinds of ionizing radiations can pass through. The red glow of the end cap is usually emitted by IBE generators that are held behind by the end cap, and that explains shimmering or pulsating lights. IBEs are ion beam generators, and depending on the vessel's size and need, the nacelle would carry a variable amount of them, 2 on the Galaxy and 4 on the Sovereign. Ion beam emitters import charge to the neutral particles in space, so they get collected by MFGC. Interstellar gas inlets are tiny slits around the collector head. The interstellar gas ionized by IBE unit is drawn into the nacelle through these slits. Gases are funneled through them until they reach CCF. CCF, or Continuous Cycle Fractioner, is a hollow-like coil conduit that separates incoming gas into separate grades of matter. Directly behind them, we have compressors used to compress the matter separated by the CCF, which is then pressure-fed into storage tanks. Coiled around the CCF compressors, there is MFGC, or Magnetic Field Generator Cross Collector. System is comprised of wire-like coils, which are made from cobalt lanthanate boronite. They cast magnetic field in front of the ship that pulls in ionized particles. Above it, we have heat exchange torsoids, and I hope I don't need to explain this because they're basically heat exchangers. Torsoids consist out of multiple pressured conduits that work in concert with warp nacelle ridges to eliminate waste generated by the warp system, as well as holding the shape of particle collection field. Torsoids are filled with supercritical helium that has to be replenished during starship's maintenance in shipyard or starbase, in essence working similarly to house refrigerators. And finally, we have warp nacelle ridges. We saw them being yellow on Ambassador, brown on Galaxy and black on the Sovereign. However, they are comprised of 56 alternating layers of neodymium-12 carbonite and titanium, energized by computer-controlled power inputs using plasma, harvested directly from warp reactor core. They also control the size and strength of Bussard magnetic field. We already mentioned the holding tanks. They're designed to accumulate inert gases separated by the CCF and chilled down by the compressors. System of valves and conduits can be programmed to let in different gases into separate tanks holding various gases at the same time, neatly sorted. Let's do a quick recap. Ion beam emitters ionize inert particles in space located in front of the ship. They also produce characteristic red light. Nacelle end cap is modified to only let through a specific ionization beam, so the particles get ionized in a certain way. Ionized particles are pulled into collector through the slits by use of magnetic fields, who are generated and moderated by several systems, such as MFGC, heat exchange torsoids, and nacelle ridges. CCF separates gas into different fractions. Compressors compress that gas and store them into tanks. Gases are kept cold by use of heat exchange torsoids. And this is basically it. What I love the most about this entire process is how realistic everything sounds. I mean, we could perhaps make this someday. I know that the collector is based on Bussard ramjet, which is a theoretical method of space shuttle propulsion proposed in the 1960s by the physicist Robert V. Bussard. So technically there could be some truth behind this system. This is going to wrap this episode, crew. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, I love you all because you're the best. Geronimo, out.